Fine. So Paris Agreement was signed in 2015 as a part of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and adopted by all the countries in 2015. So the Paris Agreement is a long-term temperature goal is to keep the increase in the global average temperature to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial level. Do you remember there was one question related to that about the Paris Agreement that we have discussed in the previous set questions? Anyone remember this question? That the statement has been given that consider the following statements regarding the Paris Agreement. So the statement was the goal is to keep increase in the global average temperature to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial level. So exactly as it is, the statement has been taken by UPSC, right, for regarding the Paris Agreement. So why I'm asking you to read the Wikipedia, because the UPSC is taking the statement from Wikipedia as it is, as I told you earlier. That is why I prefer to what you can say go for Paris Agreement, Wikipedia, rather than what you can say going for any material in the market, right? The second is what, to pursue the efforts to limit the increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Like one is that the 2.2 degrees Celsius to hai, that above the pre-industrial, but at the same time we should also try to keep it at increase the limit at 1.5% degrees Celsius. So recognizing that this would sustainably reduce the risk and impacts of climate change, this should be done by reducing emission as soon as possible in order to achieve balance between anthropogenic emissions by the sources and removes by sinks of greenhouse gases. So we know that there are two approaches of reducing the global temperature by 2 degrees Celsius. One is that the one is keeping a balance between the anthropogenic emissions, that whatever the emissions are going on, we need to reduce this. At the same time, we need to what we can say remove the already existed carbon dioxide or already existed greenhouse gases in the atmosphere by carbon sinks, right? Sinks of the greenhouse gases, right? We have seen that sinks of the greenhouse gases means on. Okay, there are certain ways through which we can try to what you can say uh, use the atmospheric greenhouse gases. We can use the atmospheric carbon dioxide and we can sink it in some places. So two approaches that one is that कि जो emission हो रहा है उसको reduce करना चाहिए और जो already है उसको क्या करना है sink करना है, right? So it also aims to increase the ability of parties to adapt the adverse impacts of the climate change. So this is very important. It also aims to increase the abilities of the parties to adapt the adverse impact of the climate change, because we know that there are many what you can say adverse impact of the climate change. We need to adapt those. Like again, we have seen the maximum impact of the climate change is on India. Why? Because maximum impact of the climate change is on the crop, it is on the agriculture. So we need to create a capability, we need to create an ability to fight with the adverse impact of the climate change and to make a finance flows consistent with a pathway towards low greenhouse gas emissions and climate resilient development. So we need to create such financial system which may go towards low greenhouse gas emissions, which will encourage the people to use less such what we consider the technologies, which leads to greenhouse gas emissions and climate resilient development. Anyone remember which is such initiatives, which is such financial tool or financial initiative or financial system created which encourages the people to use less what you can say technologies or less what you can say the ways of emitting the greenhouse gases? Anyone remember that? Is there something anything was in Kyoto Protocol which has created a system where the people who are able to or who are trying to reduce the greenhouse gas, there should be some incentives to them, right? Because क्या होता है कि like some countries are trying to reduce their gas emissions and some countries are not trying to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. So will the problem get resolved? No. So those countries who are trying hard to reduce their carbon greenhouse gas emissions can be what we can say they should be encouraged, they should be incentivized. So such incentivization is also done in the Paris Agreement. So under the Paris Agreement, each country must determine, plan and regularly report on the contribution that it undertakes to mitigate the global warming. No mechanism forces, again you can see there is no binding agreements, but the country must shoot themselves their emission target. Got it? So here in this Paris Agreement, it is not a binding on all the countries, but the countries, each country must determine their own plan, their own strategy, their own, what we can say, the contribution which can give it to reduce the carbon emissions. But each target should go beyond previously set targets. So in June 2017, US President Donald Trump announces his intervention to withdraw the United Nations from this agreement. So in 2017, United States have withdrawn from this agreement. Under the agreement, the earliest effective date of the withdrawal for the US is November 2020, shortly before the end of the President Trump's 2016 term. So in practice, changes in United States policy, they are contrary to the Paris Agreement have already been put in place. So US does such things whenever it needs, it joins such agreements, whenever it feels it comes out of this agreement. But anyways, now the USA has withdrawn from the Paris Agreement. Fine, but at the same time, there is one more important what you can say the concept in this Paris Agreement, that is called as nationally determined contributions. So what is the aims that we have already discussed now? So here you can see the aims of the Paris Agreement, A, B, C. That is what is the temperature aim. Then again, increasing ability to adapt, that we have seen, and finance. We have seen three important aspects of the Paris Agreement. And here you can see this strategy involves energy and climate policy, including the so-called 2020 target, namely for reduction of carbon dioxide emissions by 20%, the increase of the renewable energy market share by 20%, and 20% increase in the energy efficiency. Like three important what you can say the target, that is called as 2020 target, that is reducing the carbon dioxide by 20%, increase the renewable energy market share by 20%, and increase the energy efficiency also, because we know that majority of the energy, if you use efficiently, then also it leads to what we can say reduction of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Like अगर आप अपने घर में अगर कुछ समय के लिए अगर एनर्जी भी अच्छी तरीके से अगर आप कम यूज करते हो, तो दैट आल्सो, बिकॉज व्हाट हैपेंस कि व्हाई वी यूज द फॉसिल फ्यूल्स और व्हाई वी यूज द नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज टू प्रोड्यूस एनर्जी, अगर हम कम इस्तेमाल करेंगे तो ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, अगर ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस नहीं करेंगे तो ऑब्वियसली it will lead to reduction in the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So three important target, one is reduction of the carbon dioxide, then increase in the renewable energy, then increase in the energy efficiency. Got it? So countries furthermore aim to reach global peaking of greenhouse gas emission as soon as possible. The agreement has been described as an incentive for the driver of the fossil fuel divestment. Divestment का मतलब क्या होता है? What is the meaning of divestment? Hello, what is the meaning of divestment?
मतलब सर एक जगह का लेके वो एक जगह का वो जो रहता ना ऑलरेडी उसको सेल करके वो दूसरे जगह इस्तेमाल करना.
Yes, to deviate, like now we were using the fossil fuel, but now we need to what we can say use the cleaner technology. Instead of using the fossil fuels, we should go for some other ways of using the energy, right? Why? Because we know that fossil fuel creates problem in the atmosphere, so we need to go for renewable energy. So this agreement has been described as an incentive for and driver of the fossil fuel divestment. Fine. So the Paris deal is the world's first comprehensive climate agreement. Now why it is called as comprehensive climate agreement? Comprehensive means what? Am I audible to all of you? What is the meaning of comprehensive?
So उसके अंदर सब कुछ आता है इसलिए वो कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव कहते हैं उसे.
So how this Paris agreement is comprehensive? Because it deals with all the aspects. One is reduction of the carbon dioxide emission. It also deals with the adaptation. It also deals with the what you can say the finances. That is why it is called as comprehensive agreement. Got it? So as a part of this this Paris agreement, there are some nationally determined contribution. Nationally determined contribution means what? All the countries has to what you can say determine their own target, their own contribution. They can give it for reduction in the greenhouse gas emission. Fine. So at the right hand side, you can see there is a pie chart, and that pie chart will help you in understanding that what are the various what you can say nationally determined contribution by various countries in the world. The China has decided to go for 29% reduction of their carbon. What you can say, this is not the reduction target. This is the contribution of the carbon dioxide in the world. Now you can see China is the what you can say the highest contributor as of now in the carbon dioxide emission. China is 29%, 4%. United States is 14%. European countries is 9%. India 6%. Russia 4%. Japan 3%. And other countries 31%. So you can see that almost majority of the carbon dioxide emission by these countries, like China, US, Europe, India, Russia, Japan, and other countries have only 37%. So almost 70% carbon emission is by these countries. Right? So obviously these countries have more responsibility. These countries have more, what you can say, the accountability of reducing the carbon emission in the world. Got it? So we will see what is this NDCs. So the contribution each individual country should make to achieve the worldwide goal are determined by all countries individually and are called nationally determined contributions. Article 3 requires them to be ambitious. Obviously, अगर हर country को अपने तरीके से अगर determine करना है तो वो it cannot have a very low target. It needs to be an ambitious target. Like we should have ambitious target or not. Anyone knows what is the cutoff for the UPSC prelims exam? How much marks you need to get to qualify the prelims exam? Yes. किसी को पता है what is normally marks you need to require to qualify for the mains exam in UPSC prelims? Am I audible to all of you? But फिर भी you must be knowing some around figure like around 90, around 80, around 100, around 150, around because
120, 110, 120.
110, 120. Okay. So if you score around 100 marks, because last time the open cutoff was 98, SC cutoff was 84,
98, sir.
right? And the SC cutoff was 84, right? So around 100 if you get qualified, right? But you need to be ambitious or not. Like अगर 100 cutoff है, तो shall you try to only score 100 marks in the prelims exam? Or you need to have more ambitious target like 150, 180? What do you think?
So more ambitious target.
So what should be that more ambitious target? 150 or 180 or 200? 200 out of 200.
No,
Can you
sir.
have the target?
No,
sir,
sir.
not need.
Not-
Only it is only a qualifying exam.
75,
No,
yes, sir.
Sorry.
145 to 150.
See, no one can score 150 marks in prelims exam.
No, sir. I have this ideology that if we try to solve if we try to think of getting 150, we'll get 120 or 113 like that.
But there is a
That's
problem in
why.
keeping such a high ambitious target in UPSC prelims exams, because if you target 150, then you have to attempt 75 correct answers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you attempt more to get 150 marks, then there are chances of getting more wrong answers.
Negative. Yes.
Negatives. So the target should be around 110 marks, 110 and 120 marks. That is quite, what you can say, sufficient to qualify the exam. But anyways, in the Paris Agreement at the international level, the carbon emission target, Article 3 says that the country should have an ambitious target which represent the progression over time and set with a view to achieving the purpose of this agreement. That is what is explained. Got it? So every country have their own targets. You need to check it out. What is India's intended nationally determined contribution? Got it? So anyone knows what is India's determined contribution, what is India's target, which India has agreed to reduce the greenhouse gases? If you don't know, you will go and check it out. Fine? Any doubts about it? Check it. Then there is also a concept called mitigation provisions and carbon market. Carbon market, do you know? We have already discussed about the carbon credits. So there are some markets where you can trade with the carbon mitigation efforts. So that is what is mentioned here. Linkage of trading systems and international transfer of the mitigation outcome, then sustainable development mechanism, then adaptation to sharing, then ensuring finance. This is also you need to check it out. You have to go and check it out, this ensuring finance and all these things. Then transparency framework, then check it. Implementation, how it is going to be done, withdrawal from agreement, United States has withdrawal. This is all. Criticism is also there. This criticism will be useful for you for the mains exam. So you have to read this criticism. Why? Studying for the mains exam. For prelims, this much is sufficient. Fine. So today you will go and check it out. What is India's nationally determined target for the Paris Agreement? And tomorrow we will be discussing the sustainable development goals, and we will be discussing the financing mechanism in this Paris Agreement. Fine. So we'll stop it here. Yes, we'll stop it here today. Yes,
Sir, there is number of the agreements is there. For example, UNFCCC also releases so many agreements, so many reports related to the climate change, and UNEP also releases. So
right.
how can we
Remember it.
prepare? Yes, sir.
How
Sorry,
can you
identify and
see now what happens? Now that is what I'm explaining this to you. Like when you go through these, what I can say, all these questions, I explained you the difference between the like what is international organization, what is what I can say, what is a governmental organization, what is not governmental organization, right? And we
Yes,
need to know that each protocol, each what we can say the agreement, each convention has certain what we can say the reason. Like we know certain convention are on the biological diversity, certain conventions on the climate change, and certain convention are on pollution, right? So while making the notes, if you make a separate note like convention on biological diversity, convention on climate change, and convention on what you can say the pollution, then you will be able to remember it. Like what happens, in a cupboard, suppose if you keep your things in a what I can say in a haphazard manner, like if you keep it anyway, and whenever you want to what I can say pull out something which you were needed, then you cannot what I can say वो आपको मिलता नहीं है कि whatever you need it. But suppose if you keep things in a systematic way in cupboard, and whatever you need, you can open that particular what you can say the compartment of the cupboard and you can remove it. Similarly, the information needs to be stored in your brain in a what I can say in a fragmented manner, in a broken manner, right? So if you keep it systematically, you can bring it back in a systematic way. Like in computer, suppose if you keep all this thing on one particular folder, it will be very difficult for you to find out what particular file you are looking for. But suppose if you keep the folder like different folders in a computer, then what will happen, you can open that particular folder and you can remove that information. But if you keep everything in one folder, then if you try to what you can say remove that information, then what will happen, the computer will get hanged. So हमारा brain भी वैसे hang हो जाता है, right? When you read so many things, when you put so many things into your brain, which is relevant, which is not relevant, and if you do not put it in a systematic way, then obviously it becomes very difficult to recall it back. Got it, Gitanjali?
Yes.
And that is the reason जो चीज हम कल पढ़ते हैं वो हमको आज याद नहीं रहता. Why? Because we don't like there is a technique that how to store the information. अगर मुझे आप पूछोगे ना, like maybe after like if I read something today, if you ask me after like 1 year or 2 years, I will recall it as it is because I know how to put it in brain. So that is a technique actually.
Yes, sir.
Right? Because if you keep each and everything into your what you can say if you keep read each and everything, then कुछ भी याद नहीं रहेगा. And that is what is the most important problem with the students who are preparing for civil services. What happens? They try to read each and everything. And when you try to read each and everything, you cannot remember anything. You need to read only relevant part, only basic parts, only those topics which UPSC is focusing on, so that you can memorize it or you can remember it. And that is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to only focusing on those particular topics on UPSC is asking more questions.
Yes, sir.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And that is why the approach and guidance is very important for UPSC preparation. Otherwise, what will happen? There are a lot of material in the market. Environment से related to इतना material market में है that कि आप उतना पढ़ोगे ना तो कुछ भी याद नहीं रहेगा. ऐसे होता है बहुत like many a times. That you must not be knowing, but those people who are in Delhi or those who are in Pune, like they get confused that कि क्या पढ़ना और क्या नहीं पढ़ना है. ये बहुत बार confused हो जाते हैं. In spite of having all the material in front of them, they get confused. But when you read the question paper, when you see the basic ideas, then you will be very clear that what is not supposed to read. That is very important. Because if you're reading each and everything, then obviously you can't remember. Got it, Chandrasekhar?
Yes, sir.
So that is why I'm trying to help you, like why I'm taking each and every topic in detail here, because I want you to what you can say, understand the need of the exam. Fine. मोइन, ज़ईन, समझ में आ रहा है आप लोगों को सब? हेलो, हेलो, am I audible?
Yes sir.
Am I audible now?
Yes sir.
सबको समझ में आ रहा है whatever I'm teaching from environment part?
Yes sir.
ठीक है, पल्लवी कळतंय का तुला?
हो सर, थोडं थोडं समज.
ठीक आहे, काय प्रॉब्लेम नाही. तुझ्याकडे अजून 3 वर्ष आहेत. थोडं थोडं जरी समजलं तरी काय प्रॉब्लेम नाही. 3 वर्षापर्यंत तुला सर्व कळून जाईल. फाइन.
यस सर.
ओके.
Sir,
मोइन
on
एंड ज़ईन,
Geomet application.
मोइन एंड ज़ईन समझ में आ रहे हैं ना आप लोगों को? ये टॉपिक समझ में आ रहे हैं, एनवायरनमेंट का टॉपिक?
यस सर.
ओके, फाइन. चलिए, गीतांजलि, एनी डाउट्स?
No, sir.
ओके, सो फीलिंग आ रही है? कैन यू क्वालिफाई प्रीलिम्स एग्जाम दिस ईयर? See, that confidence is important, that feeling like yes, I can do this. And when you can get that confidence, when you can gain that confidence, only when you read some topics and when you try to solve some questions of the previous year exam. On that basis, you can have that confidence. Yes, if the questions are like this, I will be able to solve these questions. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Check.
Yeah.
Yes. कोई कुछ पूछ रहा था मुझे. Someone was asking. Yes, Mustafa.
सर हम हमारे मीटिंग सर जियोमेट एप्लीकेशन के ऊपर स्टार्ट करें सर. उसके अंदर मतलब सर टाइम लिमिट का कुछ ये नहीं रहता सर. मतलब घंटा 1.5 घंटा हम कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं उसके ऊपर.
किसके ऊपर?
जियोमेट.
No, but Geomet is not as we can say user friendly like the Zoom, because there I don't know how to share the screen. There I don't know how to record the class, and I can't record it. And again, Geomet में मैंने देखा एक बार use किया है, but it is not as useful like the Zoom. but ठीक है, Zoom में एक सब प्रॉब्लम है कि 40 मिनट के बाद में ब्रेक हो जाती है, but you can join it back again. उतना ही आपको ब्रेक भी मिलता है 5-6 मिनट का, because I keep continuing on like explaining. You need a break in between. Right, so in that sense,
Okay,
it is again good for you. Fine.
Yes sir.
ठीक है, चलिए, shall we stop here now?
Yes sir.